boy, these red-winged blackbirds are noisy. So a farmer called me and he basically said, you better not be driving on my farm. So my biggest problem on the trap line right now is trying not to tear up the farm. So a lot of times trappers are helping farmers. That's definitely true. But I find especially farmers that have livestock are happy to have trappers come and help take the predators down. Farmers who are farming produce don't always want all the predators out. For example, apple farmers have problems with mice at the base of apple trees, and they love it when they can get fox and coyotes and bobcats and those predators in there, sort of taking out the mouse population or the rabbit population, or especially they like the deer population to be held down by predators. This specific farmer just didn't want me on the property that he's leasing because I would be tearing it up with my ATV. And I told him for sure I was not going to be in there doing that. All season long I've been trying to stay on the same 2-track. I try not to wander too much with the ATV, and I skirt the edge of the fields just to make sure that I respect the landowner and not tear the place up. Right now my big problem is everything is mush, even my 2-track and the roads. So in some cases I'm going to be parking the ATV and hiking just to protect that land. The last thing we want to do is upset the farmer or the landowner, and we want to keep our relationship positive. If it helps any other trappers at all, I get signed permission from all the landowners that I trap on their properties. The New York DEC provides a slick little form. It's very simple, but it clears you of liabilities. I also talk to the property owners about what I'm going to trap and how I'm going to trap, and I audit them on how much information they want. So some of them, I actually even send them the Onyx GPS coordinates of my trap locations, because they're using their land too, and they might prefer to know exactly where I'm trapping. Some of my landowners like to see my catches, some of them don't. It's all fine. So having your permission in writing is really powerful, really helps with the confidence between the landowner and the trapper. So I think that farmer was going to be pissed at me, thinking I didn't have an alternative, but I'm just going to adapt and I won't drive on that piece of land. He told me he wanted to plant some barley and he really needed it to be not torn up. So I totally respect that. Who pays the taxes out here? The landowners. And a lot of times when you have private property permission, you have to do adaptations to make sure that you're helping the landowner and not hurting them. As far as the mink and muskrat and otter trapping, I'm not doing so good. I have a couple of mink traps that I see were tripped off or stepped on and did not fire properly.
Hey Trapper Dan, you would do much better on mink trapping if you dyed and waxed your traps and filed your dogs so they fire on a hair trigger. Also, as you used larger pans and square jaw traps, you would increase your chances. What do you think?
Who is that guy? Who is that guy with the weird British accent? My grandfather and my great-grandfather were trappers, and my great-great-great-great-great-grandfather was from England. What do I think? I think you're right, because it's what you do before the season that helps you to be successful during the season. And since I've never mink trapped before, I've never prepped for it. So I think if I do those things, yeah, I'll be more successful. But I'm gonna keep trying for this season. Otter season's over, so we're just going for mink, muskrats, and beavers now. I haven't seen any muskrats in those muskrat and mink sets, but we are having a little fun with beaver. Let's check it out. Morning, everybody. I'm down here at the bridge where we put those beaver sets in with Mike, and I'm looking down to find my traps. And right here, I don't see one anymore. Remember, we put that bearded man on the stick right there, and the trap was right down in there. And I'm looking at my chain over here, and it's shaking. So we got something, guys. We got something under the bridge, and the water's not deep enough for the drowning. So We're gonna have to see what this is and do a dispatch. I'm curious if the beavers are traveling together because there's one more trap that should be over there. All right, we're gonna see what this is. I think we do have a beaver, guys. Oh yeah, you can see him right there. I'm gonna try to dispatch him before he goes underwater again. Ah, that's the first beaver of the season for me. Haven't been after beaver until after predator trapping is done, just because of time. But, you know, sometimes when you're near those beaver spots on your predator line, it does make sense to get those traps in. Right now I'm just checking the baited pocket that we put in. You know what else is kind of cool is getting beaver on these transitional spots. So there's no lodge here, there's no other sign of beaver living near here, but what they're doing is they're moving along, and probably if I follow this river long enough, I'll find where their bank den is, or where their lodge is, or where there's possibly a dam. But right now we're just working on the river, where in the springtime the 2-year-olds are going to start moving away from their mom and dad's lodge. And yeah, we'll see what we got here. Can't tell yet how big this one is. I just dispatched him, and I'm just letting him hang out for a little bit. In the meantime, here's some more sign here. Bit of a slide going up and down, so they might have been going up in here. I'm gonna check on that a little closer. So far, nothing in the mink sets under this bridge. I'm gonna have to see if he messed up the other one. Check on the other side over here. Yeah, I can see that trap from here. I don't know if you can see that with the glare, but there's a trap right down in there. Nothing yet. Oh, I got on the other side of the bridge here. Anyways, we put these fresh branches here, and he came right up and stepped in this trap. Let's see. Give a pull on him. Give a pull on him. Oh boy, that's heavy. Oh, that's a pretty big one. Yeah, we'll weigh him when we get to the shed, but wow, really got him deep. He wasn't getting away on this one. That's why we use traps that are so big, because beaver's feet are so big, especially those back feet. So, wow, this guy's been in some fights. We can see his tail's chewed off. All right, we'll get him out of the trap. That's pretty freaking cool. We got that beaver on, this was a 3-night check, so a couple nights he was off somewhere else, and as soon as he came back here, we got him. So I'm gonna reset this one exactly like it was. And we don't know if this is a lone beaver doing all this, or it's a few of them. So we have a couple traps here. So I like using chains because they don't get all kinked up. And with Hag Slide, the universal lock, which is right here. Here, keep this untwisted. It's a one-way slide, right? I'm just gonna slide it all the way back to the top and put my weights back out, but man, this thing is great. I used to use cables, and the beavers really get them all kinked up, and you end up cutting yourself and poking your waders, and at the end of the season it's just one big tangled mess because of all the kinks in them. So that's why I moved to chain. It's just a lot easier for me. We'll reset this. These guys are strong. This is a Bridger 4 coil. There we go. Night latchet. Might go off. That's good. Right back in the same spot. I'll get a little bit of slack on this. Right there. Scent stick right there. All kinds of attractive food here. Gonna go check the other one here and see what's going on. You know what did happen is my other mink trap is set off here. Don't know if I have a mink, but I don't think so because this is where that beaver probably whacked this one. Yeah, nothing in that one, so he knocked it. It was on these rocks over here, so we'll reset this. Okay, this other one is still set. I moved the stick out a little bit closer to it. But this kind of tells me that that beaver didn't come from upstream, but swam up from downstream because he hit that trap first. So if I do have some time for exploring, I'll start exploring downstream, see where he might have come from, and if we can target them a little bit closer. But no complaints. This is a great spot, and I can check my mink sets at the same time. It actually wasn't over here. I was wrong. We had it on a rock right over there under the edge. So that one's all set again. And we'll see if those mink come through. In the meantime, we got a nice big beaver here. I'm gonna guess this guy's between, let me see, a sack of sugar, sack of flour. I'd say 47 pounds. We'll check on the scale. That's what we're after, Willie. All right. Check them out. Sniff them out, because sometimes they might use you to help me find where they're living. Okay, that's a beaver. If you're getting any entertainment or education from Trapper Snore, I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe. By subscribing, you help this content get shared with more people on the internet. And by the way, could you go over to Rumble and subscribe to Trapper Snore there? Rumble is just like YouTube, but they don't censor trapping content. There's a big flow of trapping content creators moving over to Rumble. I lost Willie. Oh, there he is. Okay, after 3 nights I had a mink set right under that edge over there, and it's kind of deep there in the trap. I don't know, it wasn't bedded perfect for me, so I moved it to this side, so it's right in under here. And I like this because there's a lot of brush up here, and anything coming through is, you know, moving down along the water's edge. So, and it looks like there's some stuff sort of matted down. So yeah, that's my new spot for that one. In my last video, we got a comment from Paul.
Dear Trapper Snore, since I moved back to Tennessee, I have trapped and finally got my first bobcat 2 years ago. Since I first started watching your videos a month ago, I have caught 4 bobcats. Thank you so much for all you do for the trapping community. Paul.
Hey, Paul. Thanks so much for sharing, man. That is awesome. You've got 4 bobcats down there in Tennessee. I'm sure it's what you did, not anything I did here at Trapper Snore, but hopefully we shared some inspiration. Maybe you can share with us what you think might have made the difference with you catching a couple more bobcats than usual, and good luck with the rest of the season. Well, I wasn't sure if Willie was going to water trap with me, but so far it's pretty easy to bring him along because this is the same area I was predator trapping. He's all used to these trails. Until I have to, oh, he gets stuck on a stick. Probably should take the leash off, buddy. He gets stuck on one little stick and he just stops. Come here, buddy. let's go. I'm not really sure why there's an oil slick here, but I'm wondering if a beaver might have started a little caster thing. It looks a little dug up on the edge right here. Very interesting. Gonna have to ask some trapping buddies about this one. I swear I'd be 15 or 20 pounds heavier if I wasn't a trapper, because I love to eat, but also just walking some waders in some crunchy snow like this post-holing, just much better than a treadmill. Usually I get too high on the beaver weights. It's like fish stories, right? They're always bigger than you think, but let's check it out. I am 187.2. And me and Mr. Beaver, let's see what we are. We are 230.2. Aha, what'd I say? Some simple math tells us that beaver was 43 pounds, so I was 4 pounds off, but pretty close. I look forward to trying for some more guesses. Well, this is interesting. The trap was moved out of the pocket set. And the bait is gone. Wow. Probably 38 degrees this morning, so we're slushing through a little bit. And I was taking the truck out on this frozen field the last couple days, but I didn't want to risk getting stuck, so we're out here with the ATV tooling around. We had one pocket hole, 1.5 trap flipped, and I think that was a raccoon. I set the trap back in, but I didn't bring any bait today because that, of course, is left in the truck. So we'll rebait that one tomorrow, see what happens there. All right, off to the next farm, huh, Willie? Hey guys, I had a major hang up with some appointments, and I'm a little late getting out on the trap line. I'm within my state laws, but I'm not out in the early morning like usual. Almost lunchtime. But we are having a major meltdown today, and look at the water running into this river. I mean, the snow is melting fast and everything is running right down into the bridge here. You can see the water went way up, so I'm not sure if some of my traps might have, especially those mink sets, might have even got moved from this current. But what I do see right away is my trap. Actually, even the scent stick is gone and the trap is gone. And my chain is shaking a little bit. So here we go again, guys. Let's see what we got down under this bridge. Gonna have to go through the brush here. I'm always afraid of poking a hole in my waders with all these dang picker bushes. Oh, wow. Okay. Small beaver, but he's right there. Got a beaver again, guys, and he's right in close. So it wasn't just one that was doing all the eating around here. Well, this has been pretty cool under this bridge here to score on another beaver. I can see he's trapped right there. And we'll take care of this guy right now and see how big he is. We had another beaver set here, and it looks like it's missing. So let's figure out where the chain is. Never mind, not missing. It just is very deep now. I'm gonna just bring it up near the bank a little bit better. Unbelievable how the water changed. So we still have scent on this stick here, and I just replaced the trap closer to it because the water went way up. I left Willie on the bank back there. He's like probably getting ready to jump in because he doesn't like to be that far away from me. But I brought him under the bridge. He probably doesn't know how to go back up and over. So I'll climb out here and we'll get back to that beaver. Oh, look at the beaver sign here. Whoa, and I cannot get up this bank. Let's see if I step on one of those. over the picker bushes and through the woods. Oh, Willie's down here guarding the beaver. That's what's happening. He's like, "Rrr." You guarding that beaver, buddy? All right, I'll get him out now. So we barely got this guy by the back foot, a small beaver. But you can see if this was cable, it would be a big kinked up mess. But I should be able to unravel that pretty easy. Doing some fur shed work. After successful days of trapping, you need to then take care of your fur. So working on this beaver right here, but what I wanted to show you is how awesome his belly fur is. I mean, it's soft and it's got that underwool. I mean, this stuff is thick. And that's exactly what Groenwald wants for these furs to go to the hatter market. So yeah, not a huge beaver, but incredible, thick, warm underwool. I mean, I feel like this is like an 1.5 inches thick. Down, maybe even more, 2 inches thick. So, pretty cool. We're making sure he's dry, and then we're gonna get him skinned. That was his belly, but this is his back fur. So, beautiful, smooth, and thick. And these are, you know, those long guard hairs, but just beavers have just awesome fur. I can see why, you know, it's been sought after for centuries to make garments from. That is some warm stuff. And here it is, that beaver fur. Super nice, super nice. So I'm not going to scrape and dry this because we're going to sell it green. So I'll just show you how I fold it in half and get it ready for the freezer. So I just stretch out my beaver as much as I can from nose to tail, because that's what Gary Groenwald is going to be looking at when it goes to the truck, the size, and then fold it in half. So they call it the taco fold. So we're just going to put it in the freezer just like that. And that's it for the beaver. I also harvest the tail and the front feet. What I've done with the tail before is make beaver tail oil. It's in one of my earlier episodes. Cut them in small pieces, put it in a jar, and let it sit out in the sun all summer. And then you'll watch the oil form. And I'm also keeping the front feet for predator sets, coyote sets, that I'm going to be putting down bait holes next year. And then the front and hind quarters and the back straps and extra shoulder meat I cut off, and this is going in the freezer for fisher bait for next year. So every beaver is getting a lot of parts used. The casters are out. This was just a small beaver, but we have the casters out, and I'm just going to put these up to dry. I do a lot with the casters for my own lures, and if I had extra, then, you know, I'll probably sell them, but most of the time I end up keeping the casters. Here's the challenge. With all this snow melt and rain, there's a heavy current. I can't even see my trap here. I see the window weight right there, so let's, either we got something or the trap just floated away. Yeah, the trap just kind of slid right off the stones. See what happened? All the leaves got caught up on the cable and pulled that trap right off its rock. This edge right here, that's about the best place I can get that trap, but at least it's protected from the current and it's underwater up on this lip here. So I'm gonna try this out and see how it works. My other trap that's along the wall in there is still on the rock. And check this out, my pocket set is like a foot underwater. So I'm gonna build a new one right at this hole here. I'm gonna dig this out and make a bed for the trap right there. You can't say that trappers don't have challenges. Oh my gosh, you know, the weather, the water, There's always something you got to work on to tweak your traps and keep them working. And of course, I don't have my shovel with me today. I had to come out on the farm as light as possible because of sinking in the mud. And so the hole is still way up here, but I got the trap at least right under the water there, and I don't think it's the greatest, but this does have some eye appeal. If a mink is coming along, they're going to want to check out this hole. And we can see over here, this one, or maybe you can't see, but that's like a foot underwater. That's way down in there. So from what I learned from Mike, the mink and muskrats are going to come right up on here and then go this way. So I'm going to rebuild this one right on the corner here. And there we go. Little mink run along here, jump out here. This is an overhang, so he's going to be forced out a little bit. Step right on that. Well, one good thing about this thaw is I'm finally seeing my traps that have been frozen in for about a month, so I can get some of these off the farm. Willie's a wet mess this morning. Oh, so here's a bummer. This one got tripped off and we didn't catch anything, but we can see it's a rusty trap and it's not prepared properly. Hey, you got this and I got it too. Right on my fur shed. Trapper Snore, sustainable, natural, organic, and renewable resource.